Object shows. I have a couple of things to say about it. I want to say I don't hate the community. I've been a part of it for a long time. I just think it has a lot of problems, and there are some things that I don't completely understand. Quick question, what even is an art show? Like, no, I'm not making this like a trivia like I'm gonna tell you. I really want to know because as far as I've seen, there's no real definition. And I recommend, and if you're part of the audio community, I recommend you continue watching before going to the comment section. You might embarrass yourself. The most well-known audio shows are BFDI and Nan's Insanity. They're the most well-known because they were the first. They both feature an anthro objects competing for a prize with stick-figure limbs in a survivor-inspired competition. So that must be our definition. Oddly specific, but okay. But wait, then we have non-competition shows, such as the ones shown on the screen. I mean, if they are in competition, are they really object shows? I mean, they still have actual objects and stick figure limbs, so hey, I guess they still count. But wait! Then we have shows like Orb and RTTMOT where barely any of the characters are objects, but they still have a competition, so it's still an object show. However, what about Survivor and Total Drama? You know, the shows that pretty much inspired object shows? So, they aren't object shows, apparently, but shows like RTTMOT and Orb are. What makes those object shows and these not object shows? But then we have an interesting question. What really counts as an object? Obviously, these are objects, but stay with me. But what exactly is an object? Here's the dictionary definition. So those count, I know for a fact those count as objects, but what about these? But what about robots? Do robots count as objects? I mean, they're technically artificial intelligence, but they're still technically a material thing that can be seen or touched. I mean, they're not living things, so I guess so. But what about plants? Do they count as objects? And this applies to fungi too. I mean, they're technically living things, but they don't have brains. I mean, there are some animals that don't have brains, but they're still quite different from plants and fungi, so maybe they count? I mean, they certainly should count more than robots, but still, tell me what you think. Next, we have geometric shapes. So here, I've got a picture of the show Insane Shapes. You know, Insane Shapes? Don't you remember that show? Anyways, my question is, do shapes count as objects? I mean, all objects are some kind of shape, but the simple shapes themselves, are those objects? I guess they are, kind of. This next one is easily the most interesting one in my opinion. Logos, icons, and symbols. Even though you can easily give the others a free pass, this is really hard. I mean, they're not physical objects. They don't exist. They're just icons. So what do you think? Do you think they should count or not? Now I have another question. Do celestial bodies like planets, stars, moons, dwarf planets, are those objects? Yet I've seen someone say that blank was a celestial body, not an object, so do you think they count? And now we have the final boss of this segment. Black holes. Black holes are an object show. A black hole was in the first object show. which is quite ironic, since black holes are pretty much the furthest thing away from an object. Since all black holes have no real body, they're essentially just a hole in space. So I doubt they count. They don't. Well, not to me at least. Now that we've gotten some stuff out of the way, like the broken definition, and that nobody really told what an object really is, there's more stuff I would like to discuss. We'll get into it right now. I feel like too many object shows are joke shows or speed shows. It's just like nobody wants to make something new or creative or special. They just want to make a joke. There's no effort put into these shows, so there's nothing special about joke shows. One or two once in a while is fine, but when most, if not all, shows nowadays are joke shows, they're just not special anymore. Also, you know how earlier I said that BFDI and Nance and Sanity were the most popular of the shows? It's like nobody nowadays wants to make a show like that. Nobody wants to make a show of that quality. They just want to make a joke. I also hate when people cancel shows after 1 to 3 episodes. Just take a break. Don't cancel it permanently. Let's not ignore the fact that some shows even steal characters from BFDI and Anonymous Insanity, helping to further prove my point that some of these object shows add nothing new. And why are there so many shows with 8 Ball? Why is he so popular? Also, why do people put branded or copyrighted objects in this show? It's just going to ruin the show for me because, like, it'll make your show less memorable. Like, look at the original BFDI contestants, the original 20. They're really memorable. But if you copyrighted characters, they just become less memorable for me. There's also the fact that if you sell merch, then you might get sued. So I think it's best to just not use branded characters unless they're synonymous like Post-it Notes, Jacuzzi, or Band-Aid. So please, don't use any memes in your show. If you want to make an animation on YouTube, you want to make it timeless. So don't use any memes that are popular right now, since memes disappear in like a week. So if people watch the show 4 years later when the meme is no longer funny, you're just going to cringe. Also, you might know that after BFB 15, Jack and Jelly hired a lot of new people to start animating with them. But I have an issue with that. A lot of the new animators look too similar, and a lot of object shows nowadays have really similar animation styles. I was thinking, why should I care about how any of these shows look if they all look the same? Now I'm about to get to a really interesting but possibly country part. Are object shows ripoffs? I'm gonna go show you a clip from the new BFDII crossover short on the II channel and
Come on,
see
fellas,
for
take a
yourself.
break and enjoy the party. He's just joshing us, Lightbulb. Rocky here has never competed on any iteration of Inanimate Insanity.
You're right, but that's not where we compete.
Oh, you guys do chess tournaments?
No?
Oh, I know! Puzzle cube competitions!
No, even I'm not that cool. We're just in a long-form elimination-based competition, participating in challenges, alongside other objects who die in reversible ways. Kinda weird, but try to wrap your head around it.
Nonsense. That's the exact kind of show I'm interested in. If there was more than one of them, I'd know.
Well, there are, and I assure you, my personality is consistent across all of them. Just ask Rocky.
I know the II team was probably just making a joke here, but still, it really makes me think. Like, some object shows are just not that memorable. Like look at shows like Insane Fury. Who cares about Insane Fury? just most object shows are unknown to most of the world. Like, most object shows are unknown to most people who aren't part of the OSC. If you're still watching this, then congratulations. You're one of the more mature people in the object show community. Because honestly, I like this community. Kind of. Well, what I mean is that there seems to be two types of object shows. Even though there's a lot of uncreative, unfunny trash, there's also lots of creative, funny, and interesting shows. So, yes, if you're still here, I really want you to comment this video or make a response, because one problem I have with the comment section of my videos is that no one comments, no one responds to my videos, no one tells me what they think. So please, tell me what you think, comments below. And don't insult me. Thank you, bye.